My dad was a supreme jade dragon, my mom was a noble ying dragon, and I reincarnated as a once-in-a-century royal jade dragon hatchling. But my own parents wanted me dead, all because I was a double yolk egg. See, dragons only raise one offspring per birth. If more than 2 dragon eggs are laid, the one with worse traits gets eaten. My dragon parents didn't eat me, but they did dump me into the most dangerous monster dungeon in existence, left to fend for myself. When I finally opened my eyes again, I was somehow still alive. 3 broken ribs, internal injuries, and I was dangerously starving. If I didn't eat soon, I wouldn't even need a monster to kill me. I'd just starve to death right here. I'm a jade dragon. Even as a defective one, I was born with an innate devouring ability. Anything I eat gets converted into energy to heal my body, or even strengthen my bloodline. This was my only shot at a comeback. Right then, a scraping sound echoed nearby, and a black beetle the size of a human head slowly crept into view. No system panel, no prompt, but the knowledge embedded in my dragon bloodline let me ID it instantly. A corrosion beetle, lowest tier scavenger in the dungeon, low rank. This beetle was bigger than me right now, but I had 0 options. I had to devour it. That was the only way I'd survive. While it hadn't spotted me yet, I launched. I didn't go for its hard back shell. I aimed straight for the soft gap between its headplate and chestplate. My baby fangs were tiny, but with dragon bloodline strength behind them, they drove precisely into the beetle's joint tissue. The beetle let out a piercing shriek and thrashed wildly, but I refused to let go. All 4 claws dug into its abdomen like anchors. Its mandibles raked across my back, shredding the scales I'd just grown, blood everywhere. The searing pain hit hard, but the rage in my eyes only burned hotter. I thought of the Dragon Emperor's cold, empty stare, my brother's smug posture, my mother's face. She never once looked at me directly. I can't die. I will survive, and I'm going to eat every single one of you. Then I tore off a chunk of beetle meat and swallowed it. A wave of warmth exploded from my stomach and surged through every limb. Pure energy. I felt my depleted strength rushing back. The wound on my back was visibly closing up. The beetle's struggling got weaker and weaker until it finally went completely still. Then I went absolutely feral on the rest of the bug. But halfway through, the ground suddenly hit with a massive tremor. I snapped my head up. An overwhelming wave of danger hit me. Behind me, a massive eyeball was locked dead on me. The moment I made out its full shape, my blood ran cold. It was a fully grown earth dragon, a sub-dragon species, one of the mid-tier bosses of the dungeon. Sure, its bloodline wasn't nearly as noble as a true dragon's, and its intelligence was pretty low, but these things had insanely thick hides, monstrous defense, and terrifying brute strength. For where I was right now, this thing was basically the Grim Reaper. It's over. I shut my eyes in despair, but after a long moment, the death I was expecting never came. I cracked one eye open in confusion. The massive earth dragon hadn't bitten me at all. Instead, it pressed its nose close and took a long, deep sniff. Then it suddenly pulled its head back, and a series of low, strange sounds rumbled from its throat. The sound didn't feel threatening at all. It was more like confusion, curiosity. And then the most jaw-dropping thing happened. This massive earth dragon actually stuck out its spike-covered tongue. Not to grab me, but to gently lick all the bug blood off my body. After cleaning me up, the earth dragon seemed to confirm something. A look of pure warmth, almost like love, spread across its eyes. It slowly lowered itself, pressed its giant head flat on the ground right in front of me, and let out a soft, gentle rumble, beckoning me to crawl into its embrace. I pieced it together fast. This earth dragon had clearly just given birth and was deep in full mama mode. My body carried the jade dragon bloodline, and for a lower bloodline earth dragon, that high-tier draconic aura triggered something primal, a sense of kinship. It thought I was its kid. I was still debating whether to play along with this whole family reunion act when my stomach let out a loud, embarrassing growl. The earth dragon seemed to understand immediately. It got a little frantic, shuffled its massive body awkwardly to the side, and exposed its belly. There were several swollen nursing pouches there, giving off an irresistible milky scent. Then a faint mental pulse hit my mind directly. Eat. Not words. This was the soul link communication unique to high-tier creatures. I stared at the milky white liquid dripping from those pouches and swallowed hard. That was earth dragon milk, life essence infused with the raw power of the earth itself. For me, right now, more valuable than any legendary herb or treasure in the world. I didn't hesitate. I buried my face into the earth dragon's soft belly and started drinking. The energy was 100 times purer than the beetle blood and way more gentle. I could literally feel the torn meridians inside my body being rapidly repaired. I don't know how long passed before I finally couldn't drink anymore. A crushing wave of drowsiness hit. That was my body going into deep repair mode. Half conscious, I felt the earth dragon gently pick me up in its mouth and carry me deeper into the cave. Soon, in a nest lined with dry grass, I was gently set down. But the moment I landed, I felt several hostile stares burning into me. In the corner of the nest were 3 young earth dragons, just hatchlings, but still twice my size. All 3 were glaring at me, this weird little red outsider, with pure hostility. The boldest one waddled over and headbutted me, basically said, "Back off, this is my turf." I immediately bared my teeth and snapped back. The little earth dragon clearly wasn't expecting that kind of aggression. It flinched and pulled its neck in, That's when the mother's massive head loomed in, letting out a low growl, clearly scolding her kids for acting up. She used her snout to nudge all 3 hatchlings and me together. They weren't happy about it, but under their mother's authority, they had no choice but to sulk over and press up tight against her belly. And somehow, that long-forgotten feeling of safety washed over me. I closed my eyes, a small smile on my face. Since you took me in, this is home now. Anyone who messes with you, I'll eat them. When I woke up again, the Mother Earth Dragon and the 3 hatchlings were already up and ready to move. Mom signaled for me to follow. Today was a training run. For monsters living in the dungeon, the nest is safe. But you'll starve if you stay there forever. And the young ones need to learn survival skills. We filed out through the hidden entrance and the view opened up. A massive underground cave plain stretched before us, stalactites hanging overhead like stone fangs. In the distance, massive dark shapes were moving, with bone-chilling roars cutting through the air. I knew full well that at my current strength, I was dead meat the second I got more than 500 meters from Mom. She led us to a wide, rocky clearing, home to a low-tier monster called the Rock Rat. Fast and nimble, but low attack power. Perfect for a first hunt. Mom stopped and tapped the ground with her tail as a signal. All 3 hatchlings bolted out excitedly, slow and clunky, but absolutely loaded with brute strength. Big Bro rammed headfirst into a boulder, sending a bunch of rock rats scrambling in a panic. Second and third Bro lunged around clumsily, and even though their aim was terrible, their massive flailing paws still managed to flatten one unlucky rat. Total chaos. Less of a hunt, more of a demolition job. I watched from the side, completely unimpressed by the zero-skill brute force approach. I was locked onto a slightly bigger, way smarter Rock Rat King. Unlike the others, it wasn't running. It had tucked itself into a dead-end corner, watching the hatchlings wreak havoc, quietly mapping out an escape route. The second Big Bro turned to chase another rat and left a gap. The Rat King moved. It bolted low across the ground, targeting the bushes at the back. Oh, you think you're getting away? My pupils snapped into vertical slits, and in that instant, the world seemed to slow down by half a beat. Not an illusion. This was the passive effect of my Jade Dragon Bloodline's innate gift in its infant form, the Eye of Timeless Sight. I couldn't control time yet, but under full focus, my visual processing could track objects moving at extreme speed. I read every muscle twitch the Rat King made. I zeroed in on its weak point. 1 second before it dove into the bushes, I launched. My fangs snapped perfectly onto the back of its neck, right at the spine. One-shot kill. The whole thing took less than 3 seconds. When the 3 hatchlings still swatting at air finally caught on, their eyes went wide, like they were seeing their useless little brother for the very first time. And right then, things went sideways fast. A dense scraping sound erupted from every crack in the rocky ground around us. The mother, who'd been watching her kids play with loving eyes just a second ago, suddenly let out a thunderous roar. She shot to her feet and planted herself in front of all 4 of us. Then, hundreds of black scorpions burst up from the ground. Shadow scorpions, a pack-hunting predator. Individually only rank 1, but they move in swarms of hundreds, sometimes thousands. Their tail stingers can paralyze a full-grown bull in seconds. Worst of all, they hold grudges and they're relentless. Once they smell blood, it's not over until everything's dead. The Rat King's blood had brought this nightmare down on us. A black tide of scorpions surged in from every direction. The circle was closing fast. The 3 hatchlings had never seen anything like this. They huddled together, trembling, tucked tight behind Mom. Mom was powerful, sure, but there was only one of her. And these scorpions were small, fast, and specifically targeted joints and the belly. In the blink of an eye, dozens of scorpions had already crawled onto Mom's back and were stinging her like crazy. She roared in agony, thrashing and rolling to crush them, but even more swarmed up to take their place.